Have you ever watched your parent or grandparent reach for something simple? A teacup on the shelf, a book on the table, and suddenly pause, grimace, or let out a soft ouch? You probably brush it off. They're just getting old, right? But what if that small moment, that tiny wince you barely noticed, wasn't just age? What if it was a warning sign? A quiet cry from their bones, telling you something's not right? I've been an osteoporosis doctor for years. And let me tell you, some of the worst injuries I've seen, they didn't start with a dramatic fall. They started with tiny, everyday habits, innocent things done over and over again, slowly draining strength from the bones. Habits that seem harmless until one day, there's a crack, a break, a life changed forever. You see, most people think osteoporosis is just about brittle bones, but it's deeper than that. It's about independence, dignity, the ability to live on your own terms. And when that's taken away, when someone you love has to trade freedom for a hospital bed, it doesn't just affect their body, it affects their soul. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for your parents. And that's exactly why I made this video. Because today, we're pulling back the curtain. I'm going to show you 5 everyday habits. Yes, the small things you might do without thinking. They're silently weakening your bones or your loved ones. And more importantly, I'll tell you what to do instead. Simple changes, smart shifts, the kind of wisdom that keeps bones strong and life fuller for years to come. So before you scroll away, ask yourself this. What's one broken bone going to cost you? Your next vacation? Your ability to walk unassisted? Or worse, your independence? You deserve to know what's weakening your body behind the scenes. And if you're here for your mom, your dad, or your grandparents, you deserve to be the one who helps them stay strong. So here's what I want you to do right now. Just to let me know you're listening, that you care. Drop a comment that says, "I'm here for strong bones." Because that one sentence might inspire someone else to watch and make a change too. And don't forget to hit subscribe on elderly care. This is where real conversations happen, where we talk about what matters most as we age. Practical wisdom, gentle truth, real care. All right, now let's talk about the first habit. And trust me, it's one almost every senior gets wrong. Let's dive in. Let's start with habit 1, skipping strength-based activity. Now, I want you to picture someone. Let's call him Mr. Thompson. He's 78 years old, kind-hearted, a proud grandfather of 6. Every morning, he puts on his sneakers, grabs his cane just in case, and takes a slow walk around the neighborhood. Rain or shine. He's the type of man who always says, "At least I'm still moving." And in many ways, he's right. Movement is a gift. But here's the part that breaks my heart. Mr. Thompson never lifts anything heavier than a teacup. No resistance, no strength training. He thinks walking is enough. One afternoon, as he steps off a curb he's walked past 100 times, his foot slips, his hip hits the concrete. A fracture. 3 surgeries later, he's in a wheelchair, and his confidence? Shattered. Now hear me clearly. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to wake you up to the truth. Because Mr. Thompson thought he was doing the right thing. And honestly, so do most people. But here's what most don't realize. Bones respond to pressure. When you lift, even something light, you're telling your bones, "Hey, stay strong. We still need you." But when you don't, when the heaviest thing you lift is your remote control or a bowl of cereal, your bones get lazy. They weaken. They lose density. This isn't just aging, it's disuse. See, walking is wonderful for your heart, your lungs, your mood. But it doesn't put enough pressure on your bones to keep them dense and durable. That kind of strength, it comes from things like light weights, resistance bands, or even just lifting canned beans in your kitchen. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. What you need is to start. Try this. Take 2 soup cans, hold one in each hand, and gently curl your arms like you're lifting weights. 10 times. That's it. Even 10 minutes a day can signal your bones to grow stronger. It's like giving them a reason to stick around and stick with you. And here's the beautiful part. It's never too late to start. I've seen 80-year-olds make stunning improvements just by adding small resistance movements into their routine. But listen, what you do matters. And so does what you put into your body. Because the next habit, it's about something even more overlooked. The foods that are silently robbing your bones of strength, without you even realizing it. Now let's move to habit 2. not getting enough calcium and vitamin D. I remember a conversation I had with a woman. Let's call her Miss Gloria. She sat across from me, clutching her handbag, eyebrows raised, looking almost offended. She said, "I drink milk every morning, a full glass. My bones are fine." And I nodded gently, then showed her the result from her bone density scan. She had early signs of osteopenia, bone thinning. Her mouth dropped open. "But I've been drinking milk for 60 years, she whispered. And I get it. We all grew up hearing it. Milk makes strong bones. But here's what nobody told us. Calcium alone isn't enough. You could drink milk by the gallon, eat yogurt every day, chew on cheese till the cows come home. But if your body can't absorb the calcium, it just passes right through you. And that's where vitamin D comes in. Think of vitamin D as the key that unlocks the door. Without it, calcium just sits outside, useless. Now here's the catch. When you're young, your skin is great at making vitamin D from sunlight. But as we age, your skin becomes less efficient. Even if you sit outside for 20 minutes, you might not be making enough. And let's be honest, a lot of older adults aren't getting outside much to begin with. Bad weather, mobility issues, medications, or just the comfort of staying indoors with a cozy blanket and a good show. The truth? Most seniors are vitamin D deficient, even the ones who think they're not. And no, that little bit of sun from walking to the mailbox isn't cutting it. And no, milk isn't always fortified with enough. Some cheeses and yogurts don't even have vitamin D at all. So what can you do? Start with small changes. Add fortified foods like almond milk, soy milk, or certain cereals. Include fatty fish like salmon or sardines a couple of times a week. And most importantly, talk to your doctor about getting your levels checked. They might recommend a vitamin D supplement and possibly calcium too. But always ask first because balance matters. Too much of anything can be just as harmful. And remember, your bones are like a retirement fund. You need to invest in them regularly, not just once in a while. Still, even with the perfect diet and all the right nutrients, there's one little habit that could quietly cancel out all your good work. A habit so common, you probably drank it this week. Let's look at habit 3, drinking too much caffeine or soda. Let me tell you about Mr. Lee, a kind, soft-spoken man in his early 80s. He'd been drinking coffee since he was a teenager. 3, sometimes 4 cups a day. And in the evenings, a cold soda with dinner. It was his little reward. He'd smile and say, "It helps me unwind." But one day, he slipped in the kitchen. Just a small fall, nothing dramatic. But his wrist? Fractured in 2 places. He looked at me and said, "Doc, all I did was trip over my slippers." That's when I asked about his daily habits, and his face changed. He never thought coffee or soda could have anything to do with bones. But they do. Caffeine, that lovely little boost in your coffee and tea, can actually reduce calcium absorption in your gut. Meaning even if you're taking supplements, you might not be keeping that calcium. And soda, especially the dark-colored ones, contain phosphoric acid. Sounds like a science word, but here's what it means for your bones. That acid competes with calcium in your body. It forces your bones to release calcium just to balance things out. Over time, this slowly pulls calcium out of your skeleton, faster than your body can rebuild it. And it adds up. A can a day might not hurt when you're 30, but by 70, 75, 80, it's like quietly withdrawing from a bank account you didn't know was running low. Now, some people tell me, but I take supplements. I eat cheese. I'm fine. But here's the thing. You can't just throw calcium at your body and hope it sticks. If you're drinking things that block or flush it out, you're working against yourself. So what can you do? You don't have to give up coffee completely. Try to limit it to 1 or 2 cups a day, and maybe skip the soda altogether. Reach for herbal teas, like chamomile or ginger, or even just infused water, with lemon, cucumber, or berries. Little swaps like these, they give your bones a break and a better chance to rebuild. And remember, hydration matters too. Water helps transport nutrients where they're needed and keeps your body balanced. Now, we've talked about activity, we've talked about nutrients, and we've talked about what's in your cup. But coming up next, there's one habit that feels completely innocent, something almost everyone does every day, and yet it could be quietly draining the strength from your skeleton. Now let's talk about habit 4, sitting too much. Let me tell you about John. He worked hard his whole life, 40 years on his feet, building a life for his family. But after retirement, things changed. John earned his rest, no doubt about it. He got himself a cozy recliner, a little side table, and a stack of remote controls. "I've done my time," he used to joke. He watched shows, read newspapers, sometimes even ate meals in that same chair. But over time, his muscles grew weaker. Getting up became a chore. And one day, while heading to the bathroom, he lost his balance. A simple misstep. And just like that, he was in the ER with a fractured pelvis. That fall set off a chain reaction. Weeks in bed, physical therapy, and a loss of confidence that never quite came back. You see, when we sit for too long, our muscles stop getting the challenge they need. And here's the part many people don't realize. Bones need stress to stay strong. When you move, walk, bend, reach, stretch, you're sending tiny signals to your bones. Hey, stay strong. We're still using you. But when you sit for hours, those signals go silent. Your muscles shrink. Circulation slow. And the delivery of key nutrients, like calcium and vitamin D, to your bones, that weakens too. Now, don't get me wrong. Rest is important. Our bodies do need recovery time. But too much sitting speeds up frailty. It chips away at your independence, one quiet day at a time. And most of the time, we don't even notice it happening until something goes wrong. So what can you do starting today? It's not about running marathons. It's about gentle, consistent movement. Try this. Set a simple timer for every 30 to 40 minutes. When it goes off, just stand up, walk to the kitchen, stretch your arms, march in place for a minute or two. Every bit counts. Even better, find movement that brings you joy. Gardening, dancing to your favorite music, light yoga, tai chi, things that don't feel like exercise, but keep your body in motion. It's these small, mindful changes that protect your bones, improve your balance, and preserve the strength you need to keep doing the things you love. Now, you might be eating well, you might be moving more, but there's one more habit, and it's one of the most sneaky of them all. You won't see it in your diet. You won't notice it in your daily routine, but it can silently sabotage all your efforts from the inside out. Let's talk about it next. You need to hear this. Habit 5, smoking and excessive alcohol use. Let me introduce you to Margaret. She had one of those deep, hearty laughs that could fill a room. In her younger days, she lit a cigarette every morning with her coffee and poured a glass of wine most nights to unwind. By her late 50s, she gave up smoking. "Doctor's orders," she used to say, waving a dismissive hand. She didn't drink nearly as much either. But in her 70s, her bones told a different story. During a routine checkup, a bone scan showed significant thinning, osteopenia bordering on full osteoporosis. She was shocked. "But I quit years ago," she whispered. And that's the hard truth no one really talks about. The effects of smoking and heavy drinking linger, sometimes for decades. Let's break this down. Smoking doesn't just harm your lungs. It damages the very blood vessels that carry nutrients to your bones. It lowers estrogen, especially in women, and estrogen is one of the key protectors against bone loss. Worse still, smoking increases oxidative stress, which interferes with the very cells responsible for rebuilding bone. Now combine that with alcohol. Alcohol doesn't just dull your senses. It interferes with your body's ability to absorb vitamin D and process calcium, the two cornerstones of strong bones. And over time, heavy drinking slows bone remodeling, a process that keeps your skeleton strong and resilient. Now, here's a dangerous myth floating around out there. What's done is done. I've already smoked and drank. I can't undo the damage. Not true. Yes, past habits leave their mark, but your bones are living tissue. They're always adapting, always responding. And it's never too late to make a change. Quitting smoking, even late in life, can reduce your risk of fractures, improve your circulation, and allow your body to rebuild what was lost. Cutting back on alcohol not only protects your bones, but also improves your balance, sharpens your mind, and helps you sleep more soundly. So here's the solution. If you smoke, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about quitting options. There's help out there. If you drink, keep it moderate. No more than 1 drink a day for women and 2 for men. if at all. And don't go it alone. Join a support group, confide in family, track your progress. The healing doesn't start with a pill. It starts with a choice. Because these habits, though they may seem small or already behind you, can shape how you spend your future. Whether you're climbing stairs with confidence or watching live from the sidelines. Now take a breath. We've talked about movement, diet, daily habits. But there's one final factor. A force that's invisible but powerful enough to make or break the health of your bones. It's not what you eat. It's not what you lift. It's not even what you drink. It's what you feel, day after day, week after week. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever witness. Watching someone you love begin to lose their strength. Not suddenly, not all at once, but slowly, quietly, like a dimmer switch turning down the light on who they used to be. It's when the person who once carried you starts needing help to carry their own body. It's when conversations shift from weekend plans to test results, medications, and appointments. It's when the simple act of standing up becomes a struggle, and every creak of the bones feels like a quiet reminder. That time is marching on. I've seen it. You've seen it. That look in their eyes when they hesitate before taking a step. The way they grip the handrail just a little tighter. The way they laugh it off. But you can tell. They feel it too. And maybe you're feeling it in your own body now. That stiffness in the morning. That ache in your lower back that lasts just a little too long. That unspoken worry. Is this normal or the beginning of something worse? But here's what you need to hear right now. You're not powerless, because now you know that bone loss isn't just fate. It's not just getting old. It's habits. It's choices. It's awareness. And you have the power to change that narrative for yourself and for the people you love. It's not about fear anymore. It's about preparedness. It's not about bracing for decline. It's about building a foundation for strength, one choice at a time. So let's be honest with ourselves. What habits have crept in over the years? What routines have become comfortable but harmful? What beliefs have kept you, or someone you care about, stuck in place? Start there. Start small. Maybe it's cutting that third cup of coffee. Maybe it's stepping outside for 10 minutes of sunlight. Maybe it's dancing to your favorite song in the kitchen, just to keep your legs moving. Or maybe it's picking up the phone, scheduling that checkup, asking the questions you've been afraid to ask. It all matters. Because this is more than bone health. It's about independence, dignity, quality of life. You don't have to get it perfect. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. But you are here. You are listening. You're learning. And that, right there, is the beginning of change. Hope doesn't come from denial. It comes from awareness. And right now, you're holding that power in your hands. So don't let go of it. Not now. Not ever. Because the road ahead, it's still yours to walk. And every step you take, in knowledge, in action, in care, is one more step towards strength, not away from it. Let's take a moment to breathe and let everything we've just explored settle in. Because we covered a lot. And every single point matters more than you might think. So here's a quick recap of the 5 bone-weakening habits you now know to look out for. Skipping resistance exercise. When muscles don't push, bones don't grow. Not getting enough calcium and vitamin D. The 2 nutrients your skeleton quietly depends on every day. Overdoing caffeine and soda. Silent saboteurs that drain your bones sip by sip. Sitting too much, a still body becomes a weak body, and weakness leads to falls. Smoking or drinking too much. Habits from the past that can echo through your bones for decades. If even one of these felt familiar, if you recognized a piece of yourself or someone you care about in any of those habits, that's your invitation. An invitation to take one small step today. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to begin. And I'd love to hear from you, truly. Which of these 5 habits surprised you the most? Was it the caffeine? The sitting? Or maybe the realization that something you did 20 years ago is still affecting you today? And which one do you feel ready to tackle first? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's start a real conversation, because aging doesn't have to be isolating. We can learn and grow together. And if this video helped you, if it opened your eyes, sparked a memory, or even just made you think differently about senior bone health, consider subscribing to Elderly Care. This channel isn't just about aging. It's about thriving. It's about empowerment. It's about giving you and your loved ones the tools to age with grace, strength, and dignity. We release thoughtful, evidence-based content just like this every single week, and your support means we can keep making more of it for more people who need to hear it. So go ahead and hit the like button, top subscribe, and turn on a notification bell so you never miss a message that might make all the difference. Because here, we're not just talking about health. We're talking about life, the kind that's full of movement, purpose, and possibility. Thank you for spending this time with me. Really, thank you. Whether you're watching this for yourself or for someone you love. The fact that you're here means you care. And that care, that's everything. So stay strong, stay curious, stay connected. And remember, your bones carry your story. Treat them well. I'll see you in the next video.